Hi, good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentleman of Crypto episode 1276. Today is Wednesday, January 8th, 2025, and I'm King here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. ish. And today's top story is Bitcoin hourly RSI falls to most oversold since 60K Bitcoin price. Bitcoin investor ordered to hand over crypto keys and landmark tax cases looks like Ripple RLUSD stablecoin to list imminently on more exchanges, says their exec. And Finnish police seize watches worth $2.6 million from Hex founder Richard Hart is being reported, and more. But first and foremost, of course, let me go ahead and take a good look at these prices, see what's going on with these prices today. Ooh, man, we had some shedding last night. As I said yesterday, expect to go sideways possibly into the inauguration. It looks like that's where we're headed. A lot of sideways movement. While I do see us kind of recovering from this in the short term, there's no reason for us to really push up to 100 or go over 100K, especially with all this institutional investment that's already happened. I don't think it's going to happen right now. Primary reason being that everyone's still kind of on vacation or on holiday. They're coming back in the office. New people are coming and going, and transitioning periods are happening. Everyone isn't it back into the moving groove, and that includes the ETF cycle as well. So we'll talk about that here in a second. But first and foremost, again, let's look at these prices. Bitcoin is coming in 95,800. Oh, there we go. $95,800. It was called there flat now. Down 3.55% as it actually starts to the pump right now. Ethereum's at $3,383. Once again, proving it cannot reach $4,000 on its own value without Bitcoin's help, down 4.84%. Number four, XRP Ripple, $2.33, down 2.32%. Number six, Solana, $198, down 5.6%. Number nine, Cardano, 98 cents, down 11.5%. Number 10, Tron at 25 cents, down 5.7%. Those are your top 10 tokens. Fear and Greed Index has fallen to a 54, so it's neutral. Bitcoin dominance at 56.68 and Ethereum dominance at 12.15, and those are your prices. Had to get that swig of that good H2O. Speaking of H2O and good swig, oh man, prayers up to Los Angeles and the folks right now on our coast right here in Santa Monica and Pacific Palisades. People, this fire is real over here right now. I went to go work out in my building today. It is smoke in my building right now. Like literally is smoke everywhere. So the fire is real right now. The city is being covered with smoke. So I'm actually doing this show doing a short show to get in and get out and make sure everything's okay. Or do I need to be heading down to SD or Tijuana or Vegas or something? I don't know. It might have to dip about here though. It's getting crazy right here. Really quick, get some shout outs to the chat. Julian Maley, top of the top, BK Crypto. I just saw the hoodie. That thing looks fire. Jump Out Girls, Power of Nine, Landon DePaul, Saber Saves, STL Solo, Magnolia Pelican, Super Mario. Good morning, Vanessa T. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the show again. Not a lot of news, actually. News stories were pretty slow as I expected. As I've been saying, it's probably going to be slow until inauguration. But still, there's some things out there. There's a couple of gems. So, of course, let's go ahead and get started. Talk about Bitcoin. Great job to those folks, Bitcoin Chris and everyone else who's been doing the TA over in the Discord. I've been taking a peek at it as well to make sure, hey, nothing's too crazy is going to happen. But Bitcoin hourly RSI falls to most oversold since 60K Bitcoin price. That's actually not terrible when you look at that news. Like since 60K, like, oh, wow. If Bitcoin went back to 60K, this would still be a great project right now. Everything would be good in the market. But as far as like what's really going on is we got an early pump, right? With ETFs went crazy when we got the Bitcoin ETFs, Ethereum ETFs, and now they're doing ETF options, ETPs, and all these other little derivatives and acronyms and everything else. Like it got an early pump and it was pushed by institutions, the largest ones. You talk about the likes of BlackRock. So it makes sense now that we finally hit a holiday period, or a real holiday period, this lull period, which we see literally every year at the same time, which is why I always say like my birthday, Martin Luther King Day weekend, was the same weekend or whatever. is usually after that is when things heat back up. I've noticed that in school growing up. I've noticed that in sports. I've noticed it in the military. Like it just is what it is. So it doesn't surprise me that right now, when the institutions are quiet, the government's quiet, and all these things are quiet as far as the investments and the capital plays are going on, it doesn't surprise me that we will see this now become oversold, which leads me to another point as well. While we're all banking on Bitcoin, all these institutions and people who are banking on it, they're not banking on or prepared or even thinking about the bear market, right? I think they think they can manipulate and make it go up, 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 and they may be able to do that for a while as well. We look at the traditional market, we have been due for a retracement in the traditional market, and it hasn't happened yet, right? And I think when it comes to audits and everything else, like Obama was supposed to do it, and he kicked the can down the road to Trump or whatever, who kicked the can down to Biden, who's kicking the can to Trump. Like I've been saying this for every the last few years on the show. It's like we haven't even done like real audits and everything else in our country yet. So um, I think they can, like I'm saying all that to say, like the traditional market has been manipulated, and I think they can manipulate this market as well. Eventually, I think it's still too early for them to do it. So once Bitcoin takes a super dive, that 40 to 60% haircut, which it inevitably will, and then you get the super fusters back out there making the videos and their rounds. I told you Bitcoin was a scam and it was bad and blah, blah, blah. It will be interesting to see how the institutions react then, and if they'll be able to survive. But again, this doesn't surprise me right now. Bitcoin is at its oversold, its most oversold since the 60K price point. Its weakness has an instant impact on RSI, which crashed to oversold levels not seen since early October. They're saying Bitcoin traders expect a short-term bounce as one Bitcoin price metric seeks to its lowest levels in several months, which is true as well. Like usually when you see a metric like that sink to its lowest levels, it's nothing to do but go up. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView reveals deeply oversold conditions on the Bitcoin USD Relative Strength Index. It looks like Bitcoin is taking 5% in a day. And I can't believe that's a headline, 5%. That's chop, people. Has had serious implications for low time frame RSI. On the hourly chart, RSI fell from local highs of 81.7 on January 6th to 3-month lows of just 16.6 a day later. Such a rapid decline is rare, taking Bitcoin / USD from overbought to oversold in 24 hours. The last time that the index measured so low, Bitcoin USD traded at 60K. So again, you're seeing those red candles, or excuse me, those red candles from that oversold index. But again, it makes sense right now. Money's slow, people need it. People are getting out the markets. Everything's chill. Everything shall be back. But again, we were talking about this in Discord earlier. I mentioned earlier, it's going to be interesting to see what is going to happen after the inauguration. Like, has the price point already been baked in? Because again, I was thinking 120 to 140, which isn't that like great in the grand scheme of things before we get a big dip. So we're almost kind of like, we're kind of teasing there. We don't have to hit it. We can go 110, 105, which we've seen already, 104, 103-ish. But we'll see. The inauguration is going to be a telling event that day and the next day. Will it be a selling news event? Are we going down to will we pump at 106 then the next day go down to 86, 87 or something? Or will it stay strong? That's going to be the question. Satoshi Slim said, my supervisor was putting stuff on my calendar. She scheduled a 30-minute break for every day. Said, I don't want you to miss your podcast. There we go. Hey, tell the supervisor to join. Shout out to them. Jake said, that's what them old folks meant when they said it's going to be smoke in the city. Hilarious. Let's see. Sneed. I did a video on it some weeks ago, so just check the last few weeks when I came back. Yes, Hex is in the news, of course. Chop City here to stay. Yeah, we're going to be in some chop for a while. Let's see. After watching the price daily for 10 years, you stop caring what the price and fake USD is. That's the real true power nine. It's crazy. I still explain this to people, and like they just give me a blank stare where I'm just like, the dollar amount of Bitcoin doesn't matter. I'm like, imagine if Bitcoin's $1 million. They're like, all right, imagine. I'm like, you can't make, like, you can go make $1 million. Like, while it's difficult, you can go do it, right? Or I would say timely at least. Like, you can't go make 1,000,000 Bitcoins the same way you can $1,000,000. They just don't make 1,000,000 Bitcoin like they do anymore. Okay. So I'm with Power Nine. When you finally change your paradigm in mind and start thinking in crypto and Bitcoin, then you realize like the dollar amount doesn't matter. But we have to talk about it because that's what people want to talk about, make it fun. So it is what it is. 2008 introduction of quantitative easing made it impossible for a pullback in the market. If we ever crash, the US dollar is done forever. The Bitcoin will be king. You know what, Jake? Great point. Quantitative easing, bot trading, algos, and these things of that sort did actually, well, I didn't realize it. I mean, I won't say impossible, but yeah, it makes it for a more difficult pullback, especially when you print money. You start talking times like COVID, and people are like, there's more money. And it's like, you don't understand what that means. Milk and eggs will be expensive next week. Like, so when people don't understand those like basic economic principles, then for sure. But I didn't think about that. That's a great point. That could be like the primary reason why we're seeing that happen. All right, more news on Bitcoin is getting real, and precedent has officially been set. Bitcoin investor has been ordered to hand over crypto keys in landmark tax case. That's right. A Texas federal court judge ordered Frank Richard Algren III and any associates to hand over any crypto public and private keys, accounts, and access codes, it seems here. And early, to be real too, I'm not even being funny when I say this. That looks good on paper, but here's the deal, and this is for me for real life. I couldn't tell you or remember the amounts of wallets I had at this point. I've had so many wallets, people. Like, what? That's the beauty of it. You just keep getting more wallets. Now, granted, if you were to combine all those wallets, how much Bitcoin dust and Satoshis are probably in there? I started getting emails from Coinbase out of the blue. I'm like, oh, it might not be a lot, but it's probably like 30, 40 bucks all of a sudden in there. So like just to summon someone to do that, even if they wanted to, they could legitimately be like, I don't recall, and really mean that, like pass a lie detector and everything. Not only that, you talk about passwords that have been lost for wallets. I got a couple of those. Luckily, there wasn't nothing in them, nothing big, probably some dust. You talk about wallets you might not be able to access because of whatever part of the world. Like, there's just so many things about it, but that's one of those whack-a-mole things that's ridiculous that the judge is like, yeah, we're ordering you to hand over all your Bitcoin. And what happens if you find an additional one? You're gonna say, well, it doesn't matter. You forgot this. This is one of them. No, this is the beauty. You can have thousands of these things. They're easily forgettable. This is the point of decentralization, and then doing it peer to peer. So if a government or anyone else who wants to sanction your banking for whatever reason, they literally can't do it, because it's just like, well, here comes another wallet. Here comes another wallet. Here comes another wallet. But again, Texas said, well, we're going to try it for sure. Early Texas Bitcoin investor was ordered to surrender his crypto and other wallet private keys and access codes as part of a restraining order after being sentenced in December to 2 years in prison for tax fraud. Ooh, a restraining order and tax fraud? What's going on here? Frank Richard Algren III, who falsely unreported capital gains on over $3.7 million in Bitcoins. Is this the same person we talked about the other day, or is this a different one? Because this is getting crazy. Sales between 2017 and 2019 owes the U.S. government about $1.1 million in restitution. This is crazy to me. Even right now, there's still no clear regulation or go ahead on crypto. And you're going back to 2017 and 2019 to literally get about 30%, 35%, 30%, I'll say, of what he made in Bitcoin. Like, this is cold blooded. But once again, how much did this guy lose in Bitcoin? How much did he lose in airdrops or the Rome project or a rug puller scam? Like, that's my question. If this is like what it is, I would be going right back at the government being like, fine, I will pay you your 1.1 million in restitution right now, and I want a write-off of 4.6 million of the money I lost, because there's no way he made 3.7 million and didn't take any losses. I'm not believing it unless he literally just put it in Bitcoin and sat there. If he did anything else in the market, he took some losses. So again, you only see these stories when Bitcoin's at its high. Why didn't they come after him in 2018? If this happened in 20, why didn't come after him in 2022? Stop going after people at the market at the top. Only if that's the thing we should put into law. Then you know what? The government is only allowed to go after crypto debts at market lows, not at tops. Austin federal court judge. It had to be Austin. Get weird. Robert Pittman on January 6th ordered Algren and any of his family, friends, or representatives to identify and provide any physical devices used to store his cryptocurrency along with any public keys, private keys, seed phrases, or passphrases. I'll tell you what, if his family, friends, or representatives were to give that to the courts, then who needs enemies? Okay. I mean, goodness gracious. If that's your own family and friends, who needs enemies? I don't think it's going to go down like that. You can see here it's actually in writing again. This is set in precedent. It is ordered. It is ordered. This is the beauty of Bitcoin, the power of Bitcoin, the power of the Bitcoin blockchain. There's not too many orders happening from other humans unless it is in codified form, zeros and ones. But it's ordered that the defendant and the restrained parties provide the following info and or items to the U.S. as soon as reasonably possible. Identify and provide any and all physical devices used to store virtual or cryptocurrency, public keys, private keys, seed phrases, or passphrases. Again, my thing is this. If the United States is going this direction, then at the very least do an airdrop for do an airdrop for all crypto wallets in America before 2018 or something. Okay. Like they're retroactively going back to get money, but not retroactively going. I'm telling you, the day I get the knock on the door, I'm Iron Titan Finance. First of all, y'all gonna holler at me that. Bittrex, you gotta holler at me on that. Like there's legitimately is going to be like at least a few 100,000 first to come this way before it goes out the other way. Like what? We're retroactively going after people who's selling Bitcoin now and making money, but you're not retroactively going back to being like, okay, what happened here? What happened here? How much did you lose here? How much did you lose there? That's insane. This is insane, but gang on the gang. So that's happening. Texas is pressing this. Let me go actually get back to this story because Algren looks like, as I'm scrolling down in the background, he pushed back against this. Looks like he pleaded guilty to filing a false tax return in September 2024 and was sentenced in December. In 2015, when Bitcoin peaked at around $465, he purchased about 1,366 Bitcoin using Coinbase, dirty old Coinbase, and he then sold around half of it 2 years later. And see, here's a real, he sold half of it 2 years later at $5,800 per Bitcoin for $3.7 million, but substantially inflated the cost basis of the Bitcoin in his 2017 tax return, thereby making the capital gain appear less than it actually was. And see, for Coinbase, what's really messed up about it is, what is it? Say 465, 2015. Hold on, I'm just trying to do this math really quick. I'm gonna bring up the calculator. 465, 1366. Okay, I just want to do this. 465 times 1366. All right, so that's about $635,000, right? So, and think of it this way: in Coinbase's infancy, in their infancy as a business, someone trusted them with $635,000 of their money, right? It went up to 3.7 million. And what does Coinbase do a few years later? They sell your information to the government and they send them boys at you. Double whammy. And this is why you do not play with these centralized exchanges if you plan to do whatever you want to do, right? If you plan on doing everything the traditional way, which even the likes of Coinbase wasn't set up to do back in 2019, 2017, they really just started getting you your CSVs and stuff. So if that is the case, just know what's going on with these centralized exchanges, right? They're going to charge you for fees, blah, blah, blah. And then on the flip side, they're going to go. And this is the dirty part about it. That's why Coinbase now, where they're trying to like be these, trying to stand up for the crypto community, is like, don't believe it, people. Not only did they sell and share your data, these were the same people who are putting lobbyists into DC to add crypto regulations, so there's barriers to entry, so there isn't another Coinbase popping up overnight. They're the same people doing these type of moves. So it's funny to see that, again, in its infancy, someone came up, gave you $635,000. They left it with you for some years. And then once they had you give them the money, wherever you double back, you sell their info, or you give their info to the government. On the government side of the house, again, is there's no protections. This person's taking incredible risk, but then you want your cut of 30-something%. Like it's just all bad and it's all wrong. But it is what it is. America, folks. America. What's going on in this chat? Jake said NVIDIA pathway is down. Apple, Google, Facebook, and X is going to eat the world with AI. All right. Power 9 said the Federal Reserve doesn't need existing money to buy securities. It creates it. When the Fed buys government securities, it credits the seller's bank account. Oh, you already know. Let's see. Zay Jackson, Flam Force got a holler. What's I'm not sure what that one's about, Satoshi. What else we got? The Federal Reserve creates money primarily by buying government. Okay, by buying government securities or other assets, paying for them by adding electronic reserves to bank accounts. Yeah, it's a big old Ponzi for the most part. Jake said you better stop looking at your portfolios in fiat terms because when Bitcoin gets higher than fiat prices, it will scare you into selling. My portfolio went down as school teacher's salary yesterday. Stan, thanks for the tip. Said with NVIDIA flipping Apple for top dog, will this positively affect crypto since NVIDIA loves AI, crypto versus Apple's disdain? I would say not right now, but when the next bull cycle really commences, we really just had one for most part. We're seeing right now as we go sideways, which is going to happen with inauguration. But as the next one happens again, I think it'll be a callback. You remember about 6 to 8 months ago, all the AI cryptos were popping, even like the far-fetched ones were popping. I think that same thing will happen when the next bull run goes. When the next bull run goes, once NVIDIA starts doing more announcements and whatever, as far as I don't know, whether it's a podcast or press releases or press conference, anything like that that bring more attention to, hey, look at how we're beating Apple. Look at the stock. This is where AI is going in general. This is where computer chips is going. This is where computing is going. Once they start that entire narrative throughout the year as Bitcoin is pumping, then I think you'll see that affect the overall crypto market because those same type of tokens and stuff, people will try to put the narratives together. Hey, if NVIDIA is doing this and that, this crypto company is trying to work with them or doing this, right? Like XYZ, they're using this chips or whatever. They're going to try to build some storyline. So once that happens, I think that will make it positive for crypto as a whole. But outside of that, no, not really, because it's still on the traditional side as well. So that certainly seems to be like a cut and dry, with the exception of a couple of the mining stocks. I know a lot of people like riding some of the mining stocks. Jump Out Girls is funny. All right, that's the second time. Y'all say Jams one more time. He's gonna pop up on the show. Get Jams on here. Somebody say Jams one more time. Let's get him. Yeah, Saber says I thought Bitcoin wasn't backed by nothing and no value, and now they want to taste. You already know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I emailed one of those so-called journalists from Cointelegraph and asked why do they make 5% drop in Bitcoin? It's like 50% for altcoins. Exactly. Oh, like why did they make those stories? Exactly. Who knows? This is for the it's for the click. They got to get the clickbait. Not mad at that. Not mad at it. All right, last couple of quick stories. Want to mention Ripple. They are in the news. Ripple said we are about to stuff RLUSD down your throats. We're not going nowhere. We're here to stay. Ripple LSUSD stablecoin to list imminently on more exchanges. The RLUSD, excuse me. Ripple President Monica Long added that XRP will likely receive a spot ETF approval very soon as well. So they just popping hot stuff right now. I love it. I can see XRP getting a ETF approval at this point. Why not? They probably have a lot of corporate folks behind them, and especially now that they beat the feds, essentially. Let's push it. Let's keep why not push it? And even better, what they're doing, which I see what they're doing is hilarious, is from a PR standpoint, this is sold already. Put in the news. Make the government the bad guy. So essentially, they're like, yeah, the field trip is planned already. We're pretty much gonna go. We're heading out there to Cedar Point, roller coaster, Six Flags, and we're gonna make the government be like, no, y'all can't go. Like we're gonna publicly be like, well, why not? Ethereum get to go, Bitcoin got to go. Why can't we go? What's wrong with us? So I see what they're doing from a PR point of view to actually announce it like that, which is super cool. We'll see how the U.S. responds, but it looks like Monica Long is talking about XRP RLUSD in the January 7th interview with Bloomberg. She confirmed that Ripple is actively pursuing additional exchange listings for RLUSD. I support that. Why not? We got Circle, in there. with whatever their USD. I can't even think of it right now. But yeah, you have other stable coins in there. Why not add Ripples to the mix, especially if they have an actual war chest, which they do. So I'm down with that. We are continuing to expand distribution and availability of Ripple dollars on other exchanges. So I think you can expect to see more availability, more announcements coming soon, imminently. Long said she declined to provide specifics when asked about RLUSD listings on major platforms like Coinbase. I would say this actually, out of many things Ripple does, the company, I would actually say I would like to see RLUSD. I wouldn't be mad if they really took over the stablecoin market or one of the primary players, and it became even bigger than XRP in general. I think this is actually going to be their strength in the long run. This is just me. Excuse me, I'm knocking my mic out. I'm getting excited about to smack this mic talking about these financial plays. I'm tearing this mic up. Hold on. I think this is more of a natural cycle and a natural path for Ripple anyway, and what they've been doing with their cryptocurrency, especially when you talk about their ledger and who nodes and things of that. I won't get into it as far as how centralized they may or may not be, but I feel like a stablecoin is more up their path anyway. I think that fits right where they've been trying to do. It makes more sense and is less of a fight. Right now, the whole crypto thing is always going to be a fight. Every country, you beat the United States, so it shouldn't be that many more fights left. I think everybody else is going to see and be like, oh, you got a big dog. You know what I mean? That should happen. But I'm sure there'll be a couple other countries that are still like, we don't like the way you're doing the business. If you were to switch everything to a stable coin, I think that could be a clearer path for them and it could work out better. So that would be interesting to see, but they are pushing for it. Essentially, they're about to be splitting their business and their time, which could be a good or bad thing. We'll see when you talk about their ETF. If that happens, they're going to have to put somebody in charge of that department. You talk about their stable coin. I forgot I got this camera flip. I got to do it like this to make it seem. You talk about their stable coin. That's going to be a project they're going to have to do. And then you talk about XRP in general. And that push is still active project. So a lot of good things going on for them. Shout out to them. You all might be seeing that $5 XRP sooner rather than later. We shall see, especially if they get that ETF. They're going to pump it until who's the other one who's trying to get ETF? Until Solana gets theirs. It'll pump right until the next one comes. All right, last but not least, you all's favorite Finnish police seize watches worth $2.6 million from Hex founder Richard Hart is being reported. I haven't read this article. I saw the headline, and my first thought was, I thought he didn't do anything wrong. Like, that's what you all told me. That's what people were saying. He didn't do anything wrong. If that's the case, why they seize his watches? A. B, same thing I keep saying over and over again since I started the show. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Like, I didn't understand this either, people. When I joined the military, I did not understand this. I was sat down and explained. They was like, hey, as a naval officer, you need to understand like what we're talking about as far as who you're going to be in the rest of your life and the organization and how we look at things and how we don't look at things, right? And what type of group you're in, okay? And what you're expected to do. And if you don't do these things, we will allow you to hang out and dry. And everybody gonna be like, hey, we told him not to go that route. He went that route. I say all that to say these people who just have money sometimes and going crazy, they're still not a part of the gang. I keep saying it. So whether he's in the right or wrong, and it's not just a Richard Hart thing. We've seen this with many influencers and many leaders of different industries who get a lot of money or resources, and then they just get to swinging it, and they find out like, yo, you don't know nobody over here, dog. Like, what? You essentially, this is him wearing expensive jewelry in the hood. He just did it in a nice hood with great weather, a Finnish one. It was a Finnish neighborhood, but he thought they was weak, and they was like, whoa, you think because we not sagging our pants and stinking and smoking and blowing it in your face and using profanity, we not gangsters? No, we're still gangsters. Go ahead and come up with that watch collection. Hey, listen, because what does crypto have to do with a watch collection? That's as gangster as it get. The Finland is over here. Hey, I don't know what they wear. I imagine like some trousers with like some suspenders or maybe a little button down, ascot. I don't know, a tie. It doesn't matter. The point is you couldn't blow off them watches. All right, we don't care about nothing else that's going on. That watch collection, we want it and we're going to get it. Oh my goodness, this is hilarious. That's why I love when people have all these little narratives and themes. I'm like, no, call it for what it is. He came up with a watch collection. If he was in a bad neighborhood and that happened, y'all be saying something different. Finnish police has seized more than $2.6 million worth of luxury watches from Hex founder Richard Hart, who is wanted on tax fraud and assault charges in the country. It was all good just a week ago. Hold on. What I'm doing, let me bring up this picture. I got to bring up this picture. Richard Hart. What was he wearing? An LV suit or something? Let me see. I gotta bring up the guy. Hold on. Share this tab instead. This is the guy we're talking about for those who don't know. Oh my. Hey, shout out to Richard Hart for real. I want to be serious about something. When it comes to marketing, he actually could be one of the world's greatest marketeers that we've seen in the last 50 to the 100 years easily, folks. Like, I want to, like, let's be real about that. The guy is a marketeer for sure, for sure. All right, like this guy, like this is the person people get their money to. This, I think, maybe I got some haterade in me. I'm about to start dressing crazy and sauced up and sauced out because this is the people that get them. Oh, y'all remember this one? I love this. This is the shopping trip. Oh, this is the shopping trip with all the bags. I said it when I saw the shopping trip. You remember when I saw this? For those who watched the show, I said this was tone deaf because at the time, the price of his token was sinking. It was dropping, and my man was out here.
I could have my Gucci on. I could wear my Louis Vuitton. But even with
Get to the
nothing
door. Oh,
on,
all right, outside on your head. Okay. So shout out to Richard Hart. Man, sauced up like crazy. You see him out there. And but yeah, but Finland said, yo, we don't care. Finland said, hold on, back to the story real quick. Finnish police said, yeah. We can play the same game. Hey, look how they looking at the watches. I like the artwork. I love it. Finnish police reportedly seized about $2.6 million worth of luxury watches from Hex founder Richard Schuler, also known as Richard Hart, who was wanted for tax evasion and assault in Finland. Police seized 20 luxury watches, mostly Rolexes, which are believed to be Schuler's, and were left in a residence in the city of Espoo, Finland's national broadcaster. I'm not going to try to pronounce this on January 7th. All right, so two things. First of all, shout out to Richard Hart because listen, that's some real G stuff. Go bad. You gotta know when to go. You gotta know where you can bring and where you gotta leave. Watches, you gotta leave them. Time to go. Now, if you was a real player, you would have got them all. I would have got them all. Them getting. Hey, give me 20% on them. Whatever. Just give me what you got on you, bro. Give me what you got. Get the watches off. Just keep making these plays. All right. He's officially McAfee status. He should have a ship and he'll be on the water in no time. RFP McAfee. But yeah, sounds like he had to make a quick getaway and he left the watch. That's my first thought. Second thought is, shout out to Richard. Maybe he was so papered up. He said, watches. Y'all ain't seen him on YouTube. He's still on YouTube too. Real shawty, baby. He's still on YouTube. The watches are in the background. So he could be saying, them watches ain't them old watches. So what? They worth 2.6 million. You know how Richard is. That could be his thought process as well. Either way, them things is gone. If he did feel like that, cool. That's why, hey, that's why it's a difference between it's different type of wolves in these bad neighborhoods, folks. Right? Not everybody going to fight. Not everybody really dangerous. Okay. And sometimes he might be one of the people who like I got more money, and the dangerous people are like, cool, we'll take it. So who knows? Who knows what's going on here? All we do know is that the combined value of the watches came to 2.68 million, according to a combo of receipts and estimates from the luxury goods expert. Again, he's been on YouTube for the last few years talking about those watches. Most of them were purchased in Finland. Some were brought in the U.S. Here's the box with them. Oh, hey, shout out to you, Richard. You did it. No, hey, he did it. I'm not gonna hate. Okay, he did it. Can't hate on the hustle. It is what it is. And, he did it. The detective in charge of the investigation, to Schuler, Inspector Harry Saratola told Ely, I guess it was called, that the police were able to track down his abandoned watches through their intelligence activities. September 13th, Finnish authorities remanded Schuler into custody following allegations of tax fraud and assault. However, the relevant authorities have been unable to locate him. I was gonna say they didn't have him in custody. Oh, they say remanded. All right, I didn't know that word. I just through using context, I just understood and learned that new word remanded. And I was like, hold on, I thought my man was on a lamb. He's been, whoa, goodness, hey, he been on the run since September. I love crypto, man. There's like people under not even the rap industry got like real life stories like this happening on an international scale. And like plays that not even the rap. This is crazy work right here. Again, he's suspected of tax evasion. It's like the last guy did. Sold a bunch of crypto, ain't give it to them. He's like, you're not part of the game, blah, 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 blah. They out to get him. All right, that's the story. They out to get him. We'll see how long he lasts. Might get Richard back on the show. Let me know. Get him back on the show. We can do it like this night. Oh man, I'm getting too excited. All right, that's the show for today. I'm too excited. The mic there.